Hey everybody, John here, and I'm going to show 50 singles that came into the house over the last few months. I think some of these are older, but they're finally cleaned. I listened to everything, and everything's ready to be filed away. And I decided I'm not going to do any needle drops in this video. They're worth, a lot of these singles, actually every one of them is probably worth hearing once, but some are absolute fantastic, and some are just interesting, but I'm not going to do any needle drops, so you can watch this at fast speed. And if there's anything you want to hear, you can always look it up yourself. Or even better, I was thinking I will go live, and if there's something you want to hear, you can request it, because I'd love to play some of these. They're a lot of fun, these singles, and I just love singles. And I feel sad for people who don't collect singles. You're really missing out on some great music. But I'm going to start off with the first single here is Stranglehold by the UK Subs, 1979. I already had this sleeve I've had for years, but I needed an upgrade, and I got a cheap, clean copy of the single with no sleeve, and also another record I needed an upgrade I got from the same seller in England, so it was really cool. But this is a perfect example. The UK Subs have really, I think their first album is really good, and the first two or three are good records, but this is a singles band. Their singles are all fantastic. The A's and B sides. UK Subs are a singles band, not an album band. A lot of filler. The albums just aren't great, but the pile of UK Subs singles are fantastic. And I know there's a CD. I have a CD. I think it's called The Singles 1978 to 1982, and it's got all the A and B sides. Absolute fantastic and great singles band. But I got this, and I didn't realize this cover is trash, but the record was cracked. And this is Girl, Hollywood Tease. This is a new wave of British heavy metal band. Probably one of the few that are more glammy rock, like almost American sounding rock and roll. And it featured Phil Lewis on vocals, who went on to the LA Guns, and Phil Collen on guitar, who joined Def Leppard, still in Def Leppard. And this is their best song, Hollywood Tease. If you only wanted to get one thing by Girl, this is their strongest song. It's a great single. Their albums are mediocre. But both of these, I needed upgrade. That record was cracked. And I got the upgrades, and they came in company sleeves. So I could use this gem for the UK Subs for a gem record. I don't have a sleeve. And then this awesome jet sleeve. I never had a jet sleeve, so I could put this in like an Aussie record or Praying Mantis, whatever's on jet. I know I have some jet without a jet sleeve, but that's a great sleeve. So it only cost me a couple of pounds to get two company sleeves and two nice copies. This was sent by Harry's Music Room. Harry sent me a batch of 45s, and I don't even know if he realized he sent me perfect stuff for me. But this is the Pleasers, and this is a cover. The Kids Are Right. But I knew this song, and I love this song. I had this on a Power Pearls comp. And this is a mod band from probably 1978. And it's a straight cover of The Kids Are All Right. But that's one of my favorite tunes. And I really loved it on the comp. And they do a great job of it. And this is on a Arista. And I was very happy to get this. It's a great single. This, my wife bought me for my birthday. This is one of my favorite tracks for years. Slick is, a glam rock band. They're the crossover between the Bubba Boys and the Bay City Rollers to the Bubba Boys, but it's Midger. This is his band before he joined Ultravox and Visage, and actually I think Thin Lizzy before that. But this is their best song, The Kids Are Punk. I'd love to play this. Just a wonderful, well-written song. Fantastic. And they look great. And this will be 1975, I'm guessing. 1976, the tail end of the glam rock, but awesome. I don't know why. I must have got I cleaned this. I played this. Is awesome. It's not even in great shape, but a Psychotic Reaction by the Count 5 on Shot Records. I know I have at least two other copies, but I must have got this somehow. Absolute punk classic. Boston Breakout by the Sham 69. And to get the picture sleeve, I think I paid a little money for this, but the punk rock classic I didn't have. And what's it? Hey Little Rich Boy is the B-side. Cool old school desk, and Sham carved in the wood, but on Polydor. And I think this is probably one of their more expensive singles, but the Sham 69, those singles, man, are well worth it. Sarah got me this one. We already had the single, but not this picture sleeve. The Equals, Baby Comeback, and Hold Me Closer. Killer two-sider, man. Equals, one of my favorite bands. This was interesting. Sarah bought this. I don't know if it was, I think it was a blind buy. This is just a local cat, a Boston guy on a self-released record. I think his name's Johnny Barnes, and it's just 2 rock songs from like 1975, 1976, and you know, how could you go wrong? It kind of sounds a little like Aerosmith, a little like Blue Oyster Cult, and I think he plays a lot of the instruments himself, and there's nobodies. I looked up who these people were, thinking maybe they were in other Boston bands, but there's really nobody did anything. One cat, I think, was maybe in the Willie Local Alexander band, but it's on his own label, Nightcrawler, and this is JB2001. So this is his first single. It looked like he went nowhere, but I got a kick out of this. He's got, I think I counted 34 pictures of himself in all different rock poses, sunglasses, no sunglasses. And it's really fun. I have to say, this is fun. It's just straight local rock, dead ender, but fun. And I think this is only like $1 or something, but great. And it's like, I was thinking, like this guy, he couldn't, this is before punk, before new wave, before really heavy metal. So how do you market yourself as like kind of like a hard rock, bar rock guy? And, you know, total dead end. Repro of Menace, I Need Nothing, and I Like Chips. Love this band. I'd love to get all their single. I'd love to get originals on these, but not a chance. 1977, produced by John Cale, and this was Queer Pill Records 2019 reissue. But awesome band. I got to hang out. The singer's dead and the guitar player's dead, I believe, and but I might have told this story before, but I hung out with them. They're real working class, like street punk, like from the original days. They were there from day one, and they just look great. But I remember talking to him like about rock and roll to Charlie, the bass player, and he was a funny guy, and he didn't like anything. He's like, this band's cheesy, The Damned, this, and he was, I don't know if he badmouthed The Damned, but like I remember Sham 69, he's like, nah, I didn't like them. And every band I was talking with, he's like, what about old Slade, you know? He's like, I didn't like Slade, they were too cheesy. And we were having a great conversation. We hung out all night. And then somehow Rainbow came up and his eyes lit up. He's like, Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. Like that was like his favorite band out of all the bands we talked about, all these punk and glam bands. But Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, and I got a kick out of that. Here's another Menace record, and this is Screwed Up, a big tune, but this is an awful, I don't like this at all. They have they added a bonus track on 45, and it's from like the band after called The Aces, which is more like power poppy, or I don't know why they put a B-side on here. And if I remember the labels, like the A-side, like the way this is written, it's wrong. Like the A-sides on one side and the B-sides are backwards, and it might even be a little off-center. But this was a bad single. Whoever thought of putting a bonus track on from a different band? Yeah, I know they're related, but on a single, bad idea. I don't recommend this one, but I recommend the song, man. And then in the same vein, I picked up some reissues from Mad Butcher Records out of Germany. The Business, which is Smash the Disco and Disco Girls. Actually, the A-side's the Banana Boat song, but it's Smash the Disco's the track you want. Another classic, The Business. Glad I saw these guys. I think we saw one of their first American reunion tours, probably like 1990, maybe 91. I don't remember when they do a runner. Welcome to the Real World. Great Oi band. I don't know if I showed this. I don't even remember when I got this. I bought this for Sarah. This is a tentat. Excuse me, I'm under the weather. Swedish band. It's a 4-song EP, and this is a reissue. Maybe off. I don't even know who this is. Yeah, this is a reissue. It's a rare single. I think this is 300 and something out of 600. But killer. There's 4 songs. I can't remember. It's all in Swedish. But one track in particular is fantastic. These are on some comps we have, but Great to have it on 45. This is another one Harry sent me. This is The Records. Great like pub rock, power pop UK band. And this single, I think, came with the first album or some versions of the first album. It's a 4-song EP of covers. And they do great covers. I really like The Records. Not the best band in the world, but a cool band. The first album's cool. But they do Abracadabra, Have You Seen Her by Blue Ash, which was like kind of an obscure original power pop band from the early 70s from Youngstown, Ohio. And then they do See My Friends, the Kinks song, 1984, which I believe was Spirit. And Have You Seen Your Mother, Baby, Stand in Shadows, the Stones. So it was great getting this, because it should be with the first album anyway. Thank you, Harry. I think Sarah bought this for me. Magazine, Rhythm of Cruelty. And I don't think I actually listened to this. This is off their second album. And I don't know, the B-side might be exclusive, TV Baby. This is Howard Devoto from the Buzzcocks, Manchester band, Magazine. Great. First album's fantastic, but they're a good band all the way through. I don't remember when we got this, but I don't think I showed this. This is The Boys, first time. One of my favorite British bands, The Boys, power pop punk early on. This is 77 on the NEMS label. And Killer, first time, What You Gonna Do When Turning Gray. And Cats from Casino Steel was in the Hollywood Brats. And just a great, great band. The first few albums are fantastic, The Boys. But nice to have an original single from them. I mean, we have a few, but that's the first single. That's a good one. I think I got this for Sarah. Streak. This is glam rock. And they have some killer glam stompers. This one, they're a little more, less like the Sweet and the British glam stomping stuff, and a little more like New York Dolls. Almost not quite Kiss, but the very guitar and like sloppy, swaggery New York doll style, especially this one. Gonna have a good time. I can't remember the B-side, Be Your Rider, but they look cool. This is great, and they're it's just great to get these glam picture sleeves. I forget what country this is from, because this is from Germany, because to get the sleeves, you got to get the European pressings. Another Slade record. I love this. What's this? My Baby Left Me and Mama, but That's All Right, Mama. It's kind of like an Elvis medley, and this is Slade's Down and Out period. This is 1977 on the Barn label, which was Chaz Chandler's label. And this is when Slade was what was the I can't remember the B-side, Ohms, OHMS, but I love Slade in their Down and Out years, not to be ignored. And I got another, I think I bought a bunch of glam singles. What it was, just a beautiful copy of Look What You Done, classic. B-side Candidate. I just love this, and this is probably German. Just to get the sleeve. Yeah, I think this is German. And then this is a great single. This is I'm a Rocker. This is a killer track. This is from 1980. This is when they were absolutely nobody. They couldn't sell a thing. And I think this single, if I remember, was only released in, actually it says Belgium. Yeah, I think it was like Holland. It was only released in a couple countries, and I think it actually charted maybe. And this sleeve is maybe only available in Brussels. It says Belgium. Yeah, maybe this, I could be wrong, but it's off this Return to the Base record, which didn't sell at all. But it's a great rocker, upbeat rocker. And this I got a long time ago, but I don't think I've ever shown it. A one-off band, Going Red, killer, really funny power pop song, quirky, Some Boys, and it's on MCA, and they're a one and done band, and it's great. I'd say 1980. I was gonna say 79, but killer. If you're into, it's not wild or dangerous, but it's quirky. This is a fun one to spin. I think I spun it on someone else's stream, but not mine. But I love this track. Another one just like it is the Piranhas, A-side Jilly, great power pop tune. They might be one and done British band. Not sure what year. This is on the Atrix label, which is a great punk label. 78. Really great single. This is, see, that song Jilly's as good as you know, some of the best songs on albums, but you just can't get this because it's not on an album. That's why singles rule. Theater of Hate, who coincidentally I just saw last week, and they're an interesting band. Billy Duffy from The Cult was in them. They had a lot of members going through. They had a lot of different singles, different sounds. They never quite made it. I don't even know if they quite had a sound. And this isn't a good single, but these are all real cheap. Not quite like the Skids, not quite goth, not quite new romantic. They're always a little day late, dollar short kind of thing. But these singles are cheap, and you never know if you're going to get a good song. They got a ton of singles, but we saw them live, or at least we came in late, so we saw some of them live, and they looked like it was a good show. Unfortunately, we didn't get there in time. But Theater of Hate, British band. Clark Kent, this is interesting. This is Stuart Copeland from The Police under a fake name. He was doing like punk rock, new wave, and I think this is, let's see what year this is, 1978. So Stuart Copeland. And it's really good musicians on here. I think the A-side, I think it's 3 songs. The A-side was a little like The Cars meets, it was quirky, new wavy sound, but it's 78, like maybe Roxy Music, like what was the, I Don't Care, like I Don't Care, very singing, unemotional, like Devo-esque. And the B-side has a punk rock tune, or like something you could like good musicians playing punk rock, it's salvageable. And Office Girls, I think that was another one of these kind of new wave ones with maybe like very British accent, talking about office girls and just cliche kind of punk rock, new wave British talk. But it's a fun record. This is dirt cheap, these Clark Kent records, but it's Stuart Copeland. And it's fun listening to, but like if you put a Stranglers record on after it, it's just going to destroy this. And it goes to show, like, you could hear the great drumming, great guitar playing, even the solos are very technical, and they fit it in the genre, but musicianship doesn't mean anything with rock and roll. Like, it's really about heart and soul. Fancy, this is a glam rock tune, a little more on the disco-y end. It's not a stomper. It's actually a really like sexy tune. Touch Me, Fancy, chick singer. But the reason I bought this is because Les Binks from Judas Priest is in this band. And it was a picture sleeve, a nice textured picture sleeve, and it's a French pressing. So just put with the glam rock stuff, it's on a French Atlantic. Not a great, it's a good tune, but it's not my style of glam. But I'm very happy to have it. It's a fun listen. This one's awesome. The Sex Beatles. I think this is a Spanish band with a British singer, and this is cashing in on the punk rock. And there's like a fake Sid Vicious, Nancy, if you could see that. And this is on Charlie Records, which did a lot of like rockabilly blues and, you know, some of the Teddy Boy kind of bands, but they must have had a connection. It's actually kind of 50s rock and roll sound, but it's very guitar heavy, pub rock. I'd file this next to Johnny Moped, but this is a fun single. One side's really, I think the A side's really good. Well, You've Never, like, it's like a rockin' pub rock, almost the verge of punk rock. And the B side, I think, is a little more of that new wavy sound, but it's still got electric guitars in there. But cool single, and this is dirt cheap, and I think it's one and done. Sarah bought me this one. I think these were all cheap. Wilco Johnson, the original guitar player from Dr. Feelgood, and this one was lousy. This was one of his solo singles. It's this Oh Lonesome Me and Beauty. And this one, pass. I'll probably never play this one again. But I do really like Wilco Johnson. Love his guitar playing. Just not this single. Here's some just picture sleeves. I already had these singles, but I think this might be German. I think I maybe bought them from the same seller. Solid Gold Action, Born the Boogie, 2 killer tracks, T-Rex. Not much to be said about that. Another one, I had multiple copies, but I did not have this great sleeve. Jeepster, Life's a Gas, and this is also German. Let's see if there's a lot of these. Yeah, it's got a different little advertisement for the album. But I love these singles. And they're never, very rarely are they expensive. The Peacocks, I think I bought this for Sarah. This was oh, no. Harry sent this to me. That's crazy. Harry sent this to me. But this is a local Boston band we used to see play all the time. And it was a guy, like kind of a transvestite singer. What was his name? Jim Moran. And this is one of their early singles, and they kind of do a dirty song, but they would channel in a lot of like New York Dolls, Johnny Thunders before it was hip. And this is probably late 80s, 88. And they had some good, they had Kenny Hyland was the guitar player, was in the Gizmos and been in a lot of local bands. And actually a bass player used to play in a band I was in. I played with the bass player, not on this one, but on like their classic years, if you say that. But they're covering the Barbarians, Are You a Boy, Are You a Girl? But they were a wild band. Like they would get shut down on stage, and they opened for Ronnie Spector, and they like the oldies crowd who was there to see Ronnie Spector didn't know what to take of this, like the lyrics and stuff. It was crazy. Harpo, I think Sarah bought this. He's a glam rock guy, but he's a little singer-songwriter, but he's got some good tunes, but this is not one of them. This is Horoscope and Jessica. You knew Jessica was going to be some bad ballady one, but kind of like a Mark Bolan wannabe, but this is lousy. But I like having them anyway. I think I bought this, was like very cheap, £1 or whatever, but the Wombles, I got the Wombles Christmas, Wombling Merry Christmas, and Madame Cholet. And the Wombles was kind of these, I guess like the Banana Splits of England, but Chris Spedding on guitar. Sarah bought this one. This is great. E. Themsbury and the Cruisers. This is 250s Rockabilly tracks, but they're reissued on this Jim Jam label, probably from the late 70s, early 80s for the rockin' scene. And the B-side, You Made a Fool Out of Me, but it's cool, two cool tunes. And I remember seeing this, hearing this or sampling this years ago, but I don't have this track on any comps, this band, E. Themsbury and the Cruisers. But it's 50s rock and roll, Rockabilly. I think she also bought this. This is the Screaming, actually this is the Leopard Society, and this is kind of cool. This is during that like Paisley Underground, but I think they're from upstate New York, but this is more like the Gun Club, the Cramps, and maybe King Kurt, if I remember. And yeah, they're from Albany, New York, and this would be like early 80s. Kind of during that garage revival scene, but they're not quite garage revival. But this was a good record. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Check that. Check out that Cobras and the B-side. Yeah, but this was a good, and these were cheap. Now the UK subs, Shake Up the City. I don't remember if I bought this one, but this is Self-Destruct. And this is another one of the classic UK subs. I mean, the B-side, Police State and War of the Roses. Those are as good as any songs they ever cut. And this will be on, what's this, on Abstract Records. And it's probably 82. I don't know what year this is. 82, I got it. It's on red vinyl on Abstract Records. Love the UK sub singles. Legendary Stardust Cowboy. This is a later one from Norton. And this is actually really good. Sarah bought this. I think it was dirt cheap from 91 Norton Records. But Legendary Stardust Cowboy was around in the early 70s. And Bowie saw him. And that was one of his influences to get Ziggy Stardust. He definitely got the name Stardust from seeing the Legendary Stardust Cowboy. He was a crazy cat. If you don't know him, you could look him up. You could even look up Bowie talking about him. This is another great one Harry sent me. Oh, yeah, I think this batch is from Harry. Harry sent me just a classic Nick Lowe, Cruel to Be Kind. I did not have this, embarrassing to say. Just awesome. His big single. And it's just really happy to have this. I'm surprised I didn't have it. And it's cool. Early single. He's still like, it's a photo from the rock pile he is. We see the drum, but great. Harry also got me another copy of Whole Lot of Shaking Going on Sun Records. Can't have too many of these. And I cleaned this. This is great. This is a double two or triple, but this is a white label promo of the Trogs doing Gonna Make You and I Can't Control Myself. Two great double-sider. And I don't have a Fontana white label promo. Thank you, Harry. This one I think I got cheap or cheap enough. Sham 69, The Kids United, no picture sleeve. I can't afford the picture sleeve right now, but I gotta have this single. It's one of my favorite Sham 69 songs. Harry also sent me a It's great. Bob and the Rockabillys, Your Kind of Love, and Baby, Why'd You Have to Go? Baby, Why Did You Have to Go? And this is actually like 50s teen rock and roll, not quite rockabilly, but guitar-based rock and roll, and it's from the Detroit area. And I didn't have these songs, and I didn't know these songs. I don't think I have them on any comp, and they're good. Or I think it's a ballad on one, but this is a great record, and it's on Blue Chip Records, some small label out of Michigan, and it's in perfect shape. Thank you, Harry. This is stuff I love. Patano Boas. This was a Spanish band. This was a blind buy. I think I did this. And they have a song called John Lee Hooker, Jesus and Me. But it turned out to be live. This is from 88 and 87. But the B-side, Snake People's good. And it's got a chick on the cover. But they were guys, if I remember it. But it wasn't, the A-side with the good song title wasn't great. But the B-side was good. It was very like Gun Club-esque. Little Cramps. And Spanish band, cheap. I don't know much about them, but the song came from an LP, so they have a full LP. And from the late 80s, kind of sound a little like Love and Rockets, maybe, meets the Gun Club. What else we got? Oh, Harry sent me this great Sid Vicious 45, Not Your Stepping Stone, and Don't Give Me No Lip. And this was free with a magazine, still in the original sleeve with the Made in England stamp. And I believe this is live. It doesn't say. It came free with Scratch Magazine. Wait, free with issue 7 of Spiral Scratch Magazine, not for resale. This came out in 89, recorded in 78. I believe it's the same versions I have on the record. One of those, I have a couple of those live Sid records, but from Max's Kansas City. But great to have on 45. Not the best quality, so it's not something you're going to DJ, but cool. And Harry also sent me Scarfish. I don't know a lot about them, but they were Chicago kind of art rock new wave band. But I know them because they were in Erg in the Music War. And that's how I knew a lot of my bands, was seeing that movie, when I was a kid. And all those bands, Devo, The Cramps, all those bands in that movie were classic. But it's cool to have this. This is very artsy, new wavy, just weird. And this is on Illegal Records. But cool, kind of an oddball guy, but that was nice single from Harry. Harry also got me Gene Simmons' Haunted House, his big hit. Gene Simmons, great rockabilly guy, not the Kiss guy. Great rockabilly guy, cut a few good songs at Sun Records, Drinking Wine. But Haunted House is his big hit in probably 62-ish, I'm guessing, but this come in handy for Halloween. Gorgeous high sleeve. Thank you, Harry. And then I think that's it. I think I filed some away. I had others, but that's 47. So I just pulled 3 singles to make it an even 50. So the video says 50. And I pulled out White Girl and Your Phone's Off the Hook by X. This is original on Slash Records. And I pulled this out because at Patrick Stream, we were talking about best female singers. So I had that out. And I think I also had this one out. Susie Sue, what's this? Dear Prudence, the Beatles cover, and Tattoo. These are cheap, but I mean, what a wonderful single. And then I had the other day on the live stream, I played CeCe Beaumont, so I had this laying around. This is CeCe Beaumont. I don't know if this is their first single, Ready to Riot, and this is probably from, this is in mono. I don't know what year this is. Oh, it opens up. And this was recorded by Ian Bain Watson. Let's see. Oh, it's a Damaged Goods. Yeah, I have no idea what year this is. Figure 96, let's say. But that's 50 singles. And thank you. Cheers.